And I'm proud to announce Veronica Taylor.
Thanks, Donna. Hi, everybody. Welcome to SunnyCon and my panel. I'm very happy to be here. This is a question and answer. So I guess I'll start by saying I'm Veronica Taylor. I'm a voice actor from New York City. And I've worked on a lot of different things, Pokemon being, I suppose, the main one, playing Ash and May and Ash's mom and a couple of Pokemon. I've also done Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some things on Yu-Gi-Oh! I do some things for PBS, some kids programs, a lot of different, animated things. So I don't know what you want to talk about, so why don't we start it off by, if you have a question, raise your hand, I'll come out, and we can just get it rolling from there. Okay, here we go. Okay, what is your question?
What is your favorite Pokemon?
My favorite Pokemon is Pikachu, hands down.
How did you get into voice acting?
This is safer. Okay, I'm a free range actor right now. I always wanted to be an actor, and so basically I did whatever I could acting-wise. I studied at university, I went to graduate school, I was in shows since I was 5 years old. I always did workshops, I did anything I could do. I did dance, I played soccer, I took singing lessons, anything I could do. And then voice acting just kind of came out of an audition that I did, that I happened to get into one thing, which led to something else, which led to Pokemon and led to other anime, things like that. And it just happens that most of the work I do right now is voice related. My daughter is little, fairly little, not as little as she used to be. And so, for me, voice acting has been a wonderful thing because it's fairly flexible, and I can still pick her up from school and try to get work in. And so I've been quite lucky to have work that's been flexible like that and that I really love.
What's your favorite character to voice?
I played Ash, and I love playing Ash because I love his energy and how positive he is, and to be a 10-year-old boy for 8 years was a really wonderful thing. I also loved, at the same time I was doing Amelia on Slayers, and she has a very, very high voice. She's crazy positive as well, but doing a voice that high kind of gives you a little bit of a head rush in a way. So to be able to come from come on, Pikachu, let's go! To, this is great! And just kind of leaving the studio with kind of, in a dizzy, excited way was really wonderful for me. I also played Yukino on His and Her Circumstances, and that was another one of my favorite parts because she was basically a normal high school girl who ranged from extremely happy to extremely angry to extremely, I don't know, everything. And I think we all have that in ourselves, and she portrayed it in each episode. So I like the range of that. Coming over. I can really go all the way back. This is exciting.
You need to put your hand really high up, like I did.
Type of rice.
Favorite
My
type of
third
rice.
favorite type of rice. Brown would be first, jasmine second. I'm gonna go wild. Is that good? Okay. What's the oddest question I've ever been asked? That. Yes?
I hope nobody asks about the, you know what.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will.
My favorite episode of Pokemon?
That's a good one.
There were many episodes, so in a way I can't remember a specific one, but the parts that I really liked were, I love the battles. I love fighting, because I don't fight in my real life. And secondly, I love all of those tender moments that Ash has with Pikachu, and when they really, you can see them bonding as friends. Hey, buddy, those. That's what I really loved a lot.
Aww.
There's been video. The use on the internet recently is about the Nokia-based Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles recently, about them being aliens. What's your stance on that?
That the turtles were actually aliens? Well, I haven't read that, and this is the first I've heard of it, but that would be awesome. that they were spawned out of the sludge that they were born in. That's kind of an interesting thing. I'm going to hope that's true. But I've never heard of that before. I wish April were an alien, so she had more to do on the show, I think. You went over here, since I've had my back to you? Yes?
Yeah, obviously you've voiced, you're talking about Pikachu and all those episodes of voicing the guy that was the companion. Did you ever actually meet the voice actress of Pikachu?
No, I've never been to Japan, and I do think that the woman who plays Pikachu is probably one of the most talented people ever, because to be able to put so much emotion into just the word Pika, and you can listen, I've listened to like almost the whole episode just listening to Pikachu, and she never sounds the same throughout the whole thing. So I think she's quite remarkable, but I've never had the opportunity to meet her.
I had a feeling that might not happen. It's shame that.
No, we never really see anyone who... The problem with doing something that's done in Japan and then comes here, we're just in our little studio working on it, and I barely even see any other actors, because we work one at a time on everything. So you would go in and you just go your line to your line to your line. And so you would see the other actors just as you're passing by in the hall or something. But no, I'd love to go to Japan, but I'd love to meet especially the actress who plays Pikachu. Yeah.
Just to follow on from that, isn't it hard to do your parts when you haven't got anything else to relate to? How do you do that?
I think it is hard. Part of what you have to do is you develop a skill, I suppose, of skimming through you have the script in front of you, so you can see what the lines are written down, but you don't get the script ahead of time.
Yeah.
So you skim down and kind of figure out what the characters are saying before you, what the gist of the scene is, and then you're watching the screen and then kind of going. And then you just kind of put it in and you say, I feel like, for instance, for Ash, he would probably say it like this, but the lip flap is totally different. So then you have to switch it. That's where, of course, the director is, you really need a director to say, actually, the scene doesn't have that kind of energy. It's different. Everybody pulls it together. But it is really hard because you're guessing. And when you have the luxury of doing a series for so long, then you kind of understand how the character would act. So I can guess how, let's say, Ash would say a certain line more quickly by season 3 than I could in season 1. But it is kind of a guessing game. But I've been an actor my whole life, so in a way, that's what you learn in acting school, is how to judge what the objective is right away. So you're kind of, because you're reading the lines, you're feeling the lip flap, and you're acting at the same time. So, which is why I think for a lot of people who say, I want to be a voice actor, what should I do? I think acting classes really help a lot, because then you don't have to think about the acting part, you're just doing it, So, yeah.
What would you say was the hardest role for you to play?
The hardest role? I think with Pokemon, in the beginning we auditioned for it, and I auditioned probably 4 times, and then I was cast, and then I was uncast because they decided they were going to use a real child, and then I was cast again, and then we did the first episode, and then we did the first episode maybe 5 times. So in a way, that was the hardest part to play, because no one would relax and just let you do it. And that's why even the voice of Ash shifted during the first season, as we were finally able to, between myself, the engineer, and the director, find out who Ash was and let it just kind of go. But in the beginning, there were so many cooks in the kitchen that we couldn't just do it. And I think Ash is a character that he really comes from the heart, and so you have to really just jump into him and be him. And I think it was the hardest for them to be able to let me just do that. And everyone was very nervous about it being a girl voicing Ash and all of this stuff. So in a way, that was the hardest, to be able to just be allowed to play it. I think evil characters probably are second for me.
I've got 2 questions. What's it like to be Ash Ketchum? I mean, Sorry, what's it like to see loads of people dressed up as Ash, and the other one is, what's it like to be a voice actor?
Okay. Well, I love seeing people dressed up as Ash and also in Pokemon characters. I'm amazed that something that a person created, really sitting in his room at home, Satoshi Tajiri sitting around in his house thinking of this whole thing, and then it's spun into this world that we all can identify with, and that so many things have spun out of it. I find it blows my mind. I also love Ash. I don't ever dress up as Ash, but I love the character of Ash, so to see people as Ash, I love that. And what was the other, what is it like to be a voice actor? Being a voice actor is an amazing thing. Being an actor is a wonderful gift. To be able to jump into other people's lives, escape my own, and be someone else is a wonderful thing. Being a voice actor is great because nobody knows who I am. So I can go to work and go home, and I don't have to, like Jennifer Aniston, everybody knows who she is and cares what she's wearing and what perfume she has on. And I really can just go to work and go home. We can go to the zoo and we're on our own. So that's a wonderful thing. But to be able to want to be an actor and be one is great. Voice acting is terrific also because you can play any character and it's not limited to what I look like, how tall I am, or you know, what my hair looks like that day. It's just how I can kind of channel into the character. So it's a wonderful thing overall. I'll go all the way back. I'll come back up here. I don't know if I can reach you. Yeah?
If you were to start a cast full, like a live action version of Pokemon World, who would you star as Ash? Who'd you choose?
Me? No. Who should play Ash in a real movie? I don't, do you have an idea of that? Is that why you asked? You already know?
Macaulay Culkin.
I never thought of that because the thought of me not being Ash makes me so sad. Pathetic, aren't I? You know, I don't know. Because maybe it would really have to be someone that nobody knew. You know what I mean? Because you couldn't have, oh gosh. Does anyone else have an idea? Who should play Ash?
Shia LaBeouf.
What did you say?
Shia LaBeouf.
Keanu Reeves. Ash after his adventures were over.
Keanu Reeves.
I have to think about it. I don't know. Yeah.
Ash grows up.
So I thought you was talking to me.
If I were going to live in any region of the Pokemon universe, what was the first region called? Kanto, right. I always forget all of these things. Orange Islands comes to mind. You know, I think I would live wherever Ash's mom was. Because the beauty of that is that you can always go home, change your clothes, get your laundry done, get some new underwear, and then head out again. Because I live in New York City. I love it, but I love to leave and go somewhere else. And then you bring your adventures back home. I guess similar to Ash. I've never really thought about this before, but it's sad. So I think I would choose wherever Ash's mom was living at the time. I'd go there. She has that great garden. It's probably all organic food. And so I guess they